You know that feeling when something just doesn't seem right with your body, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Maybe it's a strange tightness in your chest when you climb the stairs, or a wave of exhaustion that hits you out of nowhere. We've all been there, especially after 60, when our bodies start sending us signals we might not recognize. The truth is, heart attacks and strokes don't always happen the way they do in movies. There's rarely a dramatic clutch to the chest, followed by collapsing to the floor. More often, our bodies send us subtle warnings, sometimes weeks in advance, that something isn't right. And if we know how to spot these signals, we might just have time to prevent disaster. Today, I want to share with you 4 of the most important warning signs that everyone over 60 should know. These aren't just random symptoms, they're specific, telltale clues that doctors wish more people would take seriously. Let's start with the first one, because this is the warning sign that gets ignored most often. That crushing fatigue that makes even simple tasks feel overwhelming, the kind where making the bed leaves you needing to sit down. Most of us write this off as just getting older. But here's what your body might really be telling you. When your heart isn't getting enough oxygen, it starts rationing energy to your vital organs. That tired feeling? It could actually be your heart struggling to keep up. I'll never forget my neighbor, a vibrant 68-year-old who loved gardening. When she started needing to take breaks every few minutes while watering her plants, she blamed it on the summer heat. It wasn't until her daughter insisted on a doctor's visit that they discovered several blocked arteries. That exhaustion wasn't normal aging. It was her heart crying for help. Now, the second warning sign is one that fools nearly everyone because it feels so familiar. That burning sensation in your chest that you swear is just heartburn? There's a simple way to tell if it's actually something more serious. Doctors have a rule. If antacids don't relieve the discomfort within 15 minutes, it's probably not acid reflux. Real heart-related discomfort has some telltale differences. It often comes on without any spicy foods to trigger it. Instead of a sharp burning, it feels more like a heavy pressure, like someone's sitting on your chest. And here's the clue that surprises most people. It frequently radiates to unusual places like your jaw, back, or even down your arms. A friend's father almost didn't go to the hospital because he was convinced his discomfort was just bad indigestion. What saved him was breaking out in an unexplained cold sweat while reaching for the antacids. That was the red flag that made his wife call 911. And thank goodness she did, because he was having what doctors call a silent heart attack. Now, these first 2 warning signs are your body's early alert system. But there are 2 more critical signals we need to talk about, including one that can appear a full month before a stroke occurs. Have you ever woken up with a strange numbness in your arm and thought, "Oh, I must have slept on it wrong," or suddenly felt dizzy for no apparent reason while doing something completely ordinary? These are the kinds of moments we often shrug off, but after 60, they could be your body sounding an alarm bell. Let me tell you about the third warning sign, one that's so common yet so frequently misunderstood. That odd tingling or heaviness in your left arm that comes out of nowhere. It might not be arthritis or a pinched nerve like we assume. When your heart struggles, it often sends pain signals down nerve pathways that end in the left arm. What makes this different from ordinary arm discomfort? First, it usually appears without any injury or obvious cause. You might notice your arm feels strangely weak. Maybe you drop a coffee cup or struggle to button your shirt. The sensation often lingers, coming and going over hours or even days. And here's the important part. It frequently appears alongside that unexplained fatigue we talked about earlier. I remember a retired school teacher who noticed his left arm felt like it wasn't quite his own for nearly a week. He kept massaging it, thinking it was just stiffness from gardening. When he finally mentioned it to his doctor during a routine checkup, an EKG revealed he'd actually been having mini heart attacks all week. That stiff arm was his heart's distress signal. Now, the fourth warning sign is perhaps the most surprising of all because it can show up weeks before a serious event. It's those sudden, unexplained bouts of dizziness that make the room spin for a few seconds. Not the lightheadedness we get from standing up too fast, but a true vertigo that comes out of nowhere. Here's why this happens. When blood flow to the brain becomes compromised, whether from a narrowing artery or a tiny clot, It can cause brief interruptions in oxygen supply. These mini-strokes, or TIAs, transient ischemic attacks, are nature's warning shots. The dizziness might last just seconds or minutes, but it's your brain saying, "Hey, we've got a problem here." A woman in my book club shared how she'd been having these strange dizzy spells for nearly a month before her major stroke. She'd blamed them on new blood pressure medication, until one day the dizziness didn't go away, and neither did the weakness in her right side. Her neurologist later explained that those earlier episodes were actually golden opportunities to prevent the big stroke. What's fascinating about all these warning signs is how they connect. That fatigue makes your heart work harder. The chest discomfort signals oxygen deprivation. The arm numbness shows where nerves are misfiring. And the dizziness reveals your brain struggling. Together, they form a picture that could save your life, if you know how to read it. Now, you might be wondering, what should I do if I notice any of these signs? That's exactly what we need to talk about next, because timing is everything when it comes to your heart and brain health. You know what breaks my heart? Hearing stories of people who sensed something was wrong, but waited too long to get help. Maybe they didn't want to be a bother. Maybe they thought, it'll pass. But here's what every doctor will tell you. When it comes to heart attacks and strokes, minutes matter. That's why we need to talk about exactly what to do when you notice these warning signs. Because your quick action could mean the difference between full recovery and permanent damage. Let's start with the most important rule. If you experience any of these symptoms, even if they seem mild, you need to call for help immediately. I know it's tempting to wait and see if it goes away, but here's the reality. That wait-and-see approach is why so many people arrive at the hospital too late for the most effective treatments. When you call emergency services, here's exactly what to say. I'm age years old, and I'm experiencing possible heart attack/stroke symptoms. Be specific about your symptoms. I have sudden dizziness and my left arm feels weak. Or, I have crushing chest pressure that won't go away. This specific language triggers the fastest possible response from paramedics. Now let me share something most people don't know. There's a golden window for treatment. For heart attacks, the magic number is 90 minutes. That's when clot-busting drugs and artery-opening procedures work best. For strokes, it's even shorter, just 60 minutes to get the medications that can prevent permanent brain damage. Every minute you wait reduces your chances of full recovery. I'll never forget my cousin's story. He felt that classic chest pressure while watching TV but decided to sleep it off. By morning, his heart muscle was so damaged, he needed emergency surgery. His cardiologist said those lost hours likely cost him 10 years off his lifespan. That's why we can't afford to second-guess these symptoms. Here's your action plan. 1. Keep emergency numbers programmed in your phone and posted by every telephone in your home too. If you live alone, arrange a check-in system with a neighbor or family member. 3. Take a daily aspirin only if your doctor has previously recommended it. 4. Learn the location of your nearest 24/7 cardiac stroke center. Not all hospitals have equal capabilities. And here's the most important advice of all. Don't drive yourself to the hospital. When every minute counts, paramedics can start life-saving treatment the moment they reach you. They can transmit your EKG to the hospital en route and alert the cardiac team to prepare. Remember, these warning signs are actually gifts, your body's way of giving you a second chance. That fatigue, that odd arm sensation, that unexplained dizziness, they're not just annoyances. They're vital messages that could save your life if you listen to them. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you or someone you love experienced these warning signs? What made you decide to seek help? Your story could inspire someone else to take action when it matters most. And if you found this information valuable, do me a favor, share it with 3 people you care about. Because when it comes to heart health, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. Here's to many more years of health and happiness ahead.